Hello everybody. So as you can see, my wife and mother-in-law have been very busy this week and they've made me the funkiest yukata known to man. And I've got to say it's pretty badass. So yeah, awesome, fantastic. So yeah, thanks very much for joining again. This is cool. This is, I think I was counting the other day. I think this is live number 15. No, live number 18 in fact. Live number 18 this is mad. I can't believe it, this is crazy. So thanks again for all of you for joining in, this is really cool. I hope you guys are okay and are coping well in this weird time again. And so today I thought we would mix it up with a fish ramen to give a bit of diversity to our repertoire of dishes that we now and you guys now know how to make, thanks to everyone that's helping me as well and being able to put up media and so on like that. So I think with no further ado we shall get cracking. So little traffic lights of ingredients. Obviously I'm going to use salmon today. I'm just going to trim up a little bit smaller because I'm going to use some of these other things later in the week for my family. So I'll show you a little thing with that if you want to do that. I've got, I'm using dried ramen noodles this time. White miso we got here, sugar, we've got some mirin. I've also got a ponzu dressing that I'm trying out, which is I'm going to use as well as with the lemon juice for this. Katsuobushi. If you haven't got any of that, you can use the little Bonito powders if you want. That's absolutely fine, a little sachet of those. Spring onions, spinach, tea stained eggs, which I hope you guys will manage, and of course, most importantly, the broth. Okay, this is this here. If you haven't got this, you haven't really got a ramen. It's just kind of going to be a bowl of water and a rubbish bin.
So vegetarian option, Simon? So
vegetarian option, I think you just go, you could put tofu in it as well. You can go just mad with all the vegetables, which is fine. If you're making the veg stock, obviously you won't put the pork bones, chicken bones, or the dash or the Bonito flakes in it. But you could just use nice lot of vegetables. Nothing that breaks down too quickly, like courgette or butternut squash. You want something root vegetable-y, so carrots, celery, onions. They're all nice, hearty, robust vegetables. They're what I use primarily in the stock. The kombu as well, really important to give that nice umami flavour and that sort of fishy but not being fishy flavour, which is great. And obviously mushrooms. You can use like the peelings of any mushrooms as well. Give it a nice bold flavour. But hopefully you guys have got a nice stock, which is fantastic. So with no further ado, we shall commence. So the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to marinate the fish up first. I'm going to just grab a little container from my cupboard of wonderment. This is great. I think if you make this again, definitely it's good to maybe do this the day before to give it a real nice flavour. Okay. So what I'm going to do with my salmon, if you're using cod or whatever else you're using, it's up to you. So I don't like this sort of belly end piece. If you imagine this is the side of the salmon all the way along, this is the middle piece here, and this is the piece that I'm going to use. So basically I'm just going to take the knife, I'm going to cut down, not all the way to the skin, I'm just going to run my knife all the way along, like so, okay? And that there, I've just skinned that fish there, nice and simply. Okay, that bit I'm going to take off, because I'm going to use that for another day. Now my dog has become very, very interested in everything I'm doing now.
See his little ears.
Yeah, look at him. No, none for you, my boy. Okay, so same again. Just take a nice little middle piece just down to the skin. Tilt the knife. Yeah, nice middle piece. That off. That goes there. Oh, now the other one's come to join. And then finally, once again, all the way down to the bottom. Skin I don't really use for anything. I usually just throw it away. Okay, that goes in there. Lovely. Cloth, just to wipe my knife, flip my board over. So into this little container, we're basically just going to make a little simple little marinade for the fish. So you're basically going to want mirin, sake, but I couldn't get hold of any sake, which is very irritating. But we did have some.
We got some Shaoxing rice wine.
Yeah, Shaoxing rice wine. I will use instead as a little variation. It's not for you dogs, not for you. So basically with the mirin, we need 50 mils of mirin. And I'm going to put this into a little bowl first. And I'm just going to mix it into a little paste before I mix it on my fish. So that way it sort of incorporates a bit nicer, which is going to be good. So, 50 mils of mirin. 50 mils of sake or cooking wine, that's fine. I don't know if I'm buying this, but it's fine.
We actually have another one that's also open.
No, we have to.
We've had a couple of comments about your new top.
Oh no.
Your dad says, nice top. And Mad's Time says, looking very dapper.
Oh, thank you very much. Very well, so your sake or white wine in there. I'm going to add 40 grams of sugar to that. I'm just using a bit of granulated sugar, which is nice. Okay. Then we're going to add white miso. So this we're going to need. I've not used white miso a lot really, to be honest, but I think it's a much milder flavour than say red or brown miso.
If you couldn't get white miso,
you could use the brown miso or the red miso you got before. It would just obviously make it a little bit darker, which is fine. Okay.
White miso is also a bit less strong, isn't it? It's the least strong of the three. Okay,
I'm just going to put 60 grams in that. I think that's plenty. I know the recipe's 100 mils of thing, so that's fine. Okay, and we're just going to gently give that a little mix as best we can. I'm going to use my whisk actually. Probably would be more useful.
how much miso do you need to asking?
60 grams. 60 grams of white miso. Okay, just going to give that a little whisk. So it's all incorporated. Yeah, like I said, you can always get this done and make it the night before, 24 hours before, just to give it loads more flavour. It's not going to matter if you do it now, but it's so nice just to have it all ready to go. Did Ollie know mention about my?
He's not on at the moment, I don't think.
Ollie's not on? He said he was going to be.
I haven't seen him. Have you, Ollie? Your love.
But yes. So once that's all mixed together, I'm just going to pour that over the fish, like so. Okay. I'm just going to leave that aside, ready for later. Okay. So this is going to be quite simple. So what we're going to do next is we're going to put a pan of water, put a little pan of boiling water on here. I'm going to get that on for our ramen noodles later. Okay, and then into another pan, we're going to get our base, our ramen base ready. So just find my light soy sauce. There we go.
Mad's Time says it says 100 millilitres in the recipe. Is that okay?
Of
miso.
Just do 60 grams is fine. I think white would be quite strong otherwise. So we'll go with just 60 grams. Like ever changing, yeah. Every recipe is diverse.
I mean, if you used 100, would that be all right?
Yeah, it would be. It'd be fine. So ramen stock base. If you've got it right and you've got a bit of pork bones, it should be quite gelatinous, like so. We're just going to pour a good couple full of ladlefuls of this into our saucepan, And if you've got any left, I mean, you can use this for all sorts of things. If you want to make we actually made a really nice soup the other day with butternut squash and something else. I can't remember what it was, butternut squash or something else. Butternut squash and ginger, I think it was. And we used a stock base that we'd made, but we made one with, we made a dashi instead, and that was really nice. And so you can use this for all sorts. You can freeze it. There's nothing high risk in there really that's going to make it go off immediately, so it will last a few days in the fridge, which is no problem at all. So I'm going to pop that on the stove just to warm up and get it all nice and hot. Okay. And then to that we're going to add 2 tablespoons of light soy sauce. Okay. We're going to add 20 mils of fresh lemon juice. So I reckon that's going to be about 2 lemons. I'm going to use some of my citrus dressing for this. So, but you can always measure 20 mils if you want. I'm going to do little 10 and 10 because, you know, ever diverse me.
Zita says you're very lucky there's a lockdown, otherwise she thinks you'd have lots of people around for dinner.
Yeah, I know. And I know it. But thank you. So if you're wondering what this is, basically a ponzu is a blend of citrus dressing. It's a citrus dressing with a blend of different citrus tones. So primarily it uses a lot of yuzu, which is a very Japanese ingredient. But it's, if you ever see it the only place I've ever seen it you can sell yuzu juice is in Waitrose, and they have like a little pot about this big, and it's quite expensive. It's about 4 or 5 quid for only about 50 mils. It's really quite expensive. But the reason is that they're not much bigger than say a lemon, a yuzu, but they're quite a dry citrus fruit, so you don't get a lot of juice from them. So that's why they're quite expensive. So we've got a lot of ingredients, a lot of effort that's made into doing that. So into the stock, I'm going to add that juice. Okay, and then we're going to add 6 tablespoons of miso. Okay, to that. If you couldn't get hold of white miso and you have to use a different type, then and you're using red, then maybe just go 4 spoons, because I just think that's quite strong. Whereas, as my dear wife said earlier, white miso is much lighter in flavour. Great. Right. Go away now. So, and then to that as well, we're going to put our Bonito flakes. Nice handful. Obviously, vegetarian, not adding this ingredient because it's made of fish. So that's on nicely, which is great. We're just going to give that a little whisk so we can get it rock and roll in. Just combine all those ingredients so it doesn't catch. Nice little whisk. Okay, and you'll see that the white miso will start to lighten it up and make it really quite a nice little flavour, but they will sort of incorporate more as it heats up. See that, my love? There you go. Yeah, nice and whisked in. I'm presuming that most people went with salmon as an ingredient as their fish of choice today. I know I said blackened cod ramen, but I thought I personally prefer salmon. So it's completely up to you what you guys use.
Could you use any other type of fish?
Yeah, you could do. I mean, you need something that's a little bit chunkier, a little more robust. I wouldn't say sea bream would be ideal because it's a flat fish, it cooks very quickly. But you want salmon, you want something with a bit of fat in it. Trout, quite nice. Cod is good because it's quite a meaty flavour. I mean, if you're really pushing the boat out, you could use tuna or swordfish. You know, that would give it a real nice, really nice hit of fish flavour.
I don't think I've ever had swordfish.
Sorry?
I don't think I've ever had swordfish.
It's very nice. I remember when I had it last. So, we'll move on to our next little bits. So, we're just going to chop our spring onions up. Okay. I'm also going to use a little bit of nori, just to garnish my plate. If you've got some of those, it's great. If not, don't worry. Okay, spring onions, we're just going to prep them. Taking the old leaves off. I always take the outside leaf off. The good thing is that with miso, because it's made from soybeans, it's actually quite high in protein. My mother-in-law is a big advocate for vegetarians. Not that she is a vegetarian, but she always wants to think about how can you get a right balance of vitamins and minerals into a vegetarian diet when they're not eating protein like meat. And soybeans is one of those that, or miso is one of those that have a lot of protein in it. You could use nuts as well. So I'm just going to cut these and shred these up. Don't know that one. It's a bit chunky, you can't have that.
Your fine knife skills.
Well, I've got some friends that have become the Padawans of learning how to do the knife chopping, so they'll be very good at this now. Right.
Ben Phelan says didn't have to flex with those knife skills.
Didn't have to flex with your bricklaying skills, did you, Phelan? Right, okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to get ready to cook the fish. Okay, so I'm just going to put a frying pan on. We're going to get that on, okay. Now, what we're going to find is when we add this, is that you want it to caramelise, you want it to be slightly blackened, and that's why you've got the sugar in there. The miso as well is going to add a strong flavour, a strong caramelisation to it as well. It's quite thick. Okay, we're going to need a little bit of oil in there. I'm just going to put a little bit of rapeseed oil in there. A little bit more because that was practically empty. Okay, you will need a bit of oil in there, just to be absolutely safe, so it doesn't stick. Okay, if you have an old frying pan and you're a bit worried about if the fish is going to stick to it, then what you can always do is put a little bit of greaseproof paper on the bottom, just cut a little square out, put it in the centre, and it won't burn. Okay. Right, so we've got our spring onions ready. Other thing as well you want to do, so I've got some little ramen bowls here, is I'm going to put some boiling water in them. Okay. And then I'm just going to heat up those bowls. And then obviously when you go to serve, I'm just going to pour that boiling water out. So you don't want this, otherwise it's just a waste of you making all of this. So boiling water in there. Doesn't need to be filled all the way to the top, just half full. Fill it all on the go. Oh, that's smart, okay.
I was thinking the same.
Bless the sails. Okay. water's boiling for that. So, now, pan's nice and hot. Okay, salmon's going to go in. Okay, we're going to put it skin side down. Okay, remember to pour away from you. In and away. Same with the next one. Same with that one. And it will almost smell quite sweet because the miso is a sweet thing. It's a sweet thing.
Zita likes the kettle.
Who does?
Zita.
It's a nice kettle actually. Very nice kettle.
And if you're doing tofu, would you do the same thing, marinate and fry?
Yeah, I would. I'd also add as well. What we're probably going to do is add the liquid to it as well, so it starts caramelising as well. We're going to do that in a bit, and you'll see already. I'll show you now. This was the first one that went in. Already it's starting to blacken. Okay, that's what you want. Okay, just got on a medium heat, medium to high heat. Okay, I'm going to cook it nice and gently. Cook it evenly. Just put it over. If you're worried, you know, I personally like my salmon slightly underdone. Okay, I think it is the only way to have it really. But you just turn over. But if you were to pop it in the oven, it's up to you. But I'm not. Okay. Once you've got a nice even blackening, now flip it over onto one side. Okay. See that? Nice colour on there, isn't there? Really nice. Really nice flavour there. And then when it's finishing cooking, when we've done all the sides, we're going to put that liquid back into the pan, and we're just going to let it cook up and caramelise, and that will just help finish it with a bit of moisture and we'll steam it. Okay, once we've coloured them all on each side, we're going to put the noodles on to cook. Okay, and then we're going to be almost ready to plate up, hopefully. Yeah, this is a nice one. So again,
the finishings don't take as long as making the stocks or anything, do they? No,
this is again, like as I said before, this is one of those dishes that you could make in advance. You know, with this, as long as you've got your stock base done, everything's ready. Cook a bit of fish, cook some noodles, add some ingredients to the broth. You're done. You're set. You're gold. You know, it's perfect. You know, if you wanted to do this as a little starter, just make it a bit smaller.
If you're going to do a starter, how would you serve fish?
I'd cut it down in half and just serve maybe just the prime part of it, on just one side, and still serve it like a little bowl of it. I think it's quite a big starter, but hey, we need to all have lots of flavours and starters. Okay, that's coming out really nice. You see, it smells so nice in here actually today. It's really lovely.
Mandy, I think. Matt says, no, my mum just chucked it in. I think maybe she means the juice. Would that be a problem?
Down the sink.
Down the sink?
Yeah.
Chuck it down the sink?
No.
Well, it's not going to hurt. You can always just make a little bit more up. You don't need a little bit. Just only take say just 20 grams of miso, 15 mils of the mirin, 15 mils of sake, 15 mils. I think you've only got a little bit more. It's fine. Never waste the juice. We're always going to use it for something. Flip it over again. Okay. At this point, guys, it's noodle time.
How long will they take?
These will take 4 to 5 minutes. So by the time these cook, we'll be ready with the fish, hopefully. Break them up a little bit. Okay.
The cod would be nice doing the blackened because you'd have that mix of white and pink.
Yeah, it will
black.
do. It will do. But the reason I chose salmon as well is because it's a little bit more robust and it's got a little bit more stability. It won't break out as much. Whereas cod, particularly when you've taken it off the skin, it can flake away very easily. Particularly if you're worried about cooking fish and you want to make sure it's really well cooked. it will fall apart, which isn't going to matter too much, but for me, for aesthetics, I like to have it nice and whole. Okay, once that's all coloured on each side, I'm going to pop them together, nice and close. They're having a little cuddle. I'm going to take the rest of that juice and pour that in there. This is really important. This here, the secret. Basting. Basting. Yeah. Using a spoon, using that liquid, and just basically putting all that flavour back on the fish, and making a really nice glaze over it. Okay. And this here, as you put this over, will continue cooking the fish nice and evenly. I'm going to put this on a lower heat just to cook gently. If you're worried and it's starting to get too thick and your fish isn't quite cooked, you can just add a little bit of water. Okay. My noodles are a little stir, so they'll stick together.
Yummy. Does look good.
You hungry, my love?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's hungry.
I suspect so.
Nice.
It's a good thing too, because you need to be hungry for ramen.
But right now you see that juice has really come down. Okay, the fish is just starting to come apart, which is just what I want. Just there. And this would actually make a lovely dressing. If you let it cool down, mix with a little bit of vinegar, make a really nice dressing.
What, keep the juices there?
Yeah, yeah, if you want to. If you don't, if it hasn't caught, hasn't burnt, you can always just keep that juice. If you want to, that is, if you want to. So, next thing, we're gonna, by this point, hopefully your noodles should be done. I'm gonna strain mine. I get my old man slippers in.
Don't worry, I haven't.
They're lockdown slippers. Leave me alone.
No one said anything.
I know, I'm just checking. You see how lovely that is? That there, that there. That's oishi. That is oishi, yeah.
Does look
Sugars in there have
good.
caramelised, just made a nice little dressing up. Oh la la.
Oishi.
Noodles are cooked.
Ooh. It's okay. Matt's time says it looks beautiful.
It's good, doesn't it? Right, so next, almost ready to plate up.
The fish looks good too, she says. So.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were talking about me. So let's pour your water away from your hot bowls. You don't need them. Nice hot bowls ready. Okay. So first things first, we're going to put a little bit of the spinach in the bottom.
So it's hidden?
You'll see.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I haven't cooked this spinach. It's just washed. Okay.
Questioning the master.
We've got the broth. Yeah.
The mushrooms, you forgot to buy some, but
Oh, I did
everyone
forget
else.
to buy mushrooms. You're absolutely right. The mushrooms is fine. If you've got the little enoki, you're basically just going to decorate them on when we put everything else on. They can be eaten raw. That's absolutely fine. Okay. Thank you for reminding me.
It's Mad's time because she's asking about the mushrooms.
That's fine. I'm going to pour the broth on, and that's just going to cook that spinach down and wilt it down. You don't want it to be soft to the point where it's just mush. put 3 ladlefuls in each one. Just to start us off. Okay. Noodles in, just in the centre. Obviously you can use any other kind of noodles. If you prefer udon noodles, you can use them. If you want to use egg noodles, you can. You know, it's completely up to you. I found some nice, I've used this type a few times and I quite like them, so.
There's lots of noodles.
I think as well, what's ramen without noodles and broth?
It's true.
Okay. Put a little bit more of the liquid on. Umami.
So wouldn't we at this point, if we have the mushrooms, you put
Yeah,
them on?
yeah. A little bit of spring onions. In there. Salmon. On the top.
So you
Or
just said that's
falling.
a big portion.
It's a strong, healthy portion. A bit of that juice just in there. It's caramelised. Okay. My nori sheets. I always like these just to garnish. This is another thing that my dog absolutely devours. He hasn't had it yet, so it's fine.
The sponge is looking.
It's going to go in there, like so. And then finally, your tea-stained eggs, which my wife made.
I hope they're all right.
Moment of truth, my love. Oh, look at that. Spot on, my sweet.
Thank you.
In they go. Oh, Emily, you do make these nice.
Thank you.
Your dad wants to know if you're going for a big walk after this.
I'm going for a big sleep.
And Matt says it's an anime type ramen portion.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the bowls are small. Shifty eyes. So there we have it, guys. One oishi from Max. Blackened fruit bar. One miso. So yeah. Thank you very much for joining in, guys. It's been fantastic having you. It's been fantastic doing ramen. So thank you so much for joining in. It was quite exciting to you got some of my videos. So yeah, great. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please, I'd love to see what you've made. Post some of your stories, tag me in it so I can share my story. The Instagram live will go up shortly. The media side of it on the YouTube channel will go up Tuesday. I've also got some big exciting news coming. I'm just waiting a little bit more. Fantastic. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't do this. And yeah, so thank you very much. Keep safe. Tune in next week, and don't forget to share your things. Bye bye, everybody. Bye.